to the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and I am the host of this show. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. And I also have my monthly co-host, Dr. Sunji Phillips. She's an organizational psychologist, and she's with me here today. Thank you so much for coming today, Dr. Sunji.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I am good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm feeling extra happy today. I feel like it's spring. The weather is so warm today. Yeah, it's sunny, it's warm. It does feel like a spring day. Mm-hmm. And my husband was talking about going to play golf, but he's crazy. So it's still February. We're not going to get into that. But I just want to remind everyone before we get to the end of the show to always follow us on YouTube and to share this information because Dr. Sunji, like I said before, she's an organizational psychologist and she does training on every single level, and she has a webinar, a bilingual webinar on Wednesday, and it's in English on Mondays. And give us a time, give us the information, Dr. Sunji. I'm sorry.
Every Monday you can get us in English. It's a parenting training webinar that we do every Monday from 10 to 11:30. It's in English, and then it's in Spanish on Wednesdays from 10 to 11:30.
Awesome. And just, I know everybody don't get to watch our show every single time it comes on. I would love that. But since everybody doesn't, can you please just reintroduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and why you do what you do and how you started your own business and when. Oh, yes. We want to know everything there is to know about you.
Goodness.
And then the information that you have to share with us is priceless.
Okay, everybody needs a Vanita in their life to just make them feel so much better. I tell you, if you don't have a Vanita in your life, you need to get you a Miss Lambert. I promise you that.
There's my number.
My name is Sunji Phillips, and I worked for over 25 years in nonprofit, working specifically with individuals with developmental disabilities. So I worked in every capacity. I've worked in day programs and clinics and residential. I ran various programs, community hab, respite, residential, day habs, pre-vokes, eSIMP. If you name it, Medicaid service coordination, if you name it, I'll just tell you what year I did it in because I've done it all, where it concerns IDD population, individuals with developmental disabilities. And so it got to a point where, as you continue to grow and you continue to do, I found myself climbing up the chain, the ladder,
Ladder of success.
Ladder of success. Okay.
And satisfaction too, because that comes along with it.
Satisfaction? Okay. So what I was finding on that ladder of success is that, or satisfaction.
Right.
I was finding that I wasn't as satisfied with what I was doing. I enjoyed working in an executive capacity. However, every day was books and responsibilities and policies and procedures and what someone did. Like when you're at a high level of leadership, you're no longer responsible for your work. You're responsible for everybody's work. So whoever in that organization doesn't do something right, it falls back on you. And so at some point I realized I just don't want to do this no more. I know where my passions lie. My passions lie in the clinical work that I've done for so many years, and it lies in helping people, training staff. And so I said, why not? Why not do that? Why not just do what I love to do every day of my life?
The on hands with people, the interaction. That's so important.
Yeah. So in March of 2019, I left my position and I launched Bryson Associates. And we have been doing training and workforce development, parent coaching, and clinical and behavior supports for the last 5 years. And our anniversary, 5-year anniversary, is coming up soon. And so it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we get to meet wonderful organizations, work with amazing people. You know, if I could have thought of the dream job that I wanted to do at 20, this would be it.
It sounds like it. You know what? It sounds like you're enjoying it so much. It's not like a job, and I know you're passionate about it. But the information that I have learned from you just since we've been doing these shows for the past few months is priceless to me, because it's not just for children and parents with disabilities. I use it for, you use it for regular children. So that, you know, I really do appreciate that, what I take from it. I haven't seen the webinars yet, but I do recommend that everybody go on and watch them. So, what are we going to talk about today? What topic are we going to talk about? And try to stay on topic.
We're going to try, because when we get the talking, oh boy.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about social anxieties. Now, we are literally just going to talk about it because, as Ms. Lambert said, I am not a clinical psychologist. I am an industrial organizational psychologist who have done clinical work for maybe about 20 years with my undergrad psychology degree. So I'm very familiar with the topic. I've worked in the topic, but I'm not an expert in the topic. So we just want to kind of have some conversations around social anxieties, because it's something that we are seeing more and more and more of. So,
social anxieties. I can relate that to, you know, like high school, being afraid to go to the school dance. I mean, that's the first thing that came to mind, especially if you weren't like popular or beautiful or the quarterback of the football team or whatever. You just, you know, that time, that teenage high school time, you're just always in, you know, you're always in, kind of like, what do I want to say? You're always in feeling like it's a social challenge, or you're having anxiety about how everyone is going to react to everything that you do. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. So what do you do about social anxiety? I mean, as an older person, I could say, you know what, I'm at the age now where I was just telling her, I don't care what people think about me. But when you're younger and you're in a certain fields of work, it means the world to you what other people think about you, and how do you deal with that?
yeah,
How do
absolutely.
you fit in? How do you please everybody? That's kind of what it is, which it's impossible. I can't even please the 3 people in my family when I cook dinner. There's always somebody that's not going to like something. So what do you do?
And that's one of the most important things. We have to learn how to please ourselves, because you are not, if you make one person happy, you're going to make somebody else upset. And that is really kind of the bottom line. You're not going to please everybody. But a lot of the social anxieties have to deal with what our thoughts are about ourselves.
Oh, okay.
And the environment, because you hit the nail on the head when you said, you know, you're not pretty enough, or you're not a part of you're not a part of the football team or the cheerleading team. And those are internal insecurities that we feel. And then when we go outside, those are manifested and they are explosive, because now we're in a place where we feel people see our insecurities and they don't even see it.
They don't, unless, now here's another scenario. If you're insecure about, I don't know, whatever it is, you're here, and it is something that you feel inside, but then if you're at a football game and somebody go, oh my God, what'd you do to your hair? Then that just confirms your insecurities, doesn't it? It's and then you feel even worse. So what about when you get to that second plateau of insecurity? That's when I see a lot of children and people are dealing, even adults,
Especially adults. It grows. It doesn't like go
yeah,
away.
it perpetuates through, your whole life and every aspect of your life. It just spreads.
Right.
And you never really get over it, so.
I can think for myself, of myself, I should say. And I've always been the one to say I don't like speaking in public. I would always be the one that do all of the backup. I'll get the table together, wipe it down, I'll set it up, and I'll be in the back behind the cameras flagging you, come on, keep it rolling. Those are the things that I've always done. But I just don't want to be out front. I don't want to be the one making the speeches and giving the webinars and seminars. I don't want to go into a room and have to meet and greet people, ask how they're doing, and say, hi, I'm Sonji Phillips. And so it was, for me, it was very, very hard coming into this position because for the first time in my life, I found myself on the opposite end. I'm now on the sales end. So now I have to be a salesperson, and I'm not a salesperson. I'm not even an engaging type of person. I can go into a room, quietly sit down, get my information, and leave and never meet one person. This woman right here is quite the opposite.
I'm going to stop that.
She is just dragging me out of myself. And so what is it that makes people do that? In some cases, we're just safer. I'm an internal person, and I'm safer inside of myself because I know what to expect and I know what's going on. I know what the end result will be. But when I put myself out there, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if people are going to accept me. I don't know if they're going to feel that I can commingle with them, or these are the anxieties that so many people have inside. And I want to say that I've seen it so much more recently. And so what I say, like all of us have a little bit of something in us, but it's not necessarily a disorder until it interrupts our daily life function. So once it interrupts our daily life function, then it can be categorized as a disorder. Of course, it's that and a few other descriptives. But, I've watched how children today, they have anxieties around testing, which is a really big one for kids. When it's time to test, they have a lot of social anxieties or anxieties around testing. Now, why would kids have anxieties around testing? Because the test is going to let them know if they did any good or not.
Exactly.
And then, they
They're afraid.
internalize that. If I didn't do as good as you, then that means I'm not as good as you.
Even really, really smart kids have that anxiety about testing because, I have a son that I told you before that has Asperger's syndrome. He was so smart, and he still is so very smart. But when it came to test, he just froze up. And if he got to question number 3 and couldn't answer it, he would fail the test because he felt like he couldn't just skip 3 and keep going because of his anxieties and insecurities and everything. But as far as you are concerned, what you have to share with people is so valuable. The things that, like you said, you could go into a room, collect your information. I just want to get back to that for a minute, and then quietly exit.
She's a troublemaker.
This
I'm just
woman,
putting that.
What you have, everyone needs to know, and it helps everybody. It helps them with their insecurities. By you speaking out, you teach others to do the same. And the way you train and the way you teach and the education and the information that you have is so valuable to others. You cannot keep that to yourself. That's why I'm dragging her out everywhere I go. We have to network. She trains companies, she trains parents, she trains kids, she trains me, and I used to be like that too. I never imagined myself in this position.
Really?
Never.
You are a natural. You walk into a room and you command the room.
Wow,
and
thank you.
you are. She is absolutely a natural, and then she'll grab me along and say, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody," and all the while I'm pushing back, saying, "No, wait." But it really it comes natural for you, and people embrace it because it's natural. It's not forged. It's not fake. And see, everyone doesn't have. That's a gift that I consider. That's
Thank you.
Gift. And everyone doesn't have that. More people are thinking of themselves and what about, do I measure up? Do I equal to? Can I be productive? Can I be successful in this role? And then when we keep hearing all those voices inside of our head, then that's when we create these anxieties around other people. And it's also a part of nature, of nurture. What happened to us in our lives? So if you've ever had to get in front of the class and give a speech and everybody's all of a sudden you freeze up. And every time you've got to go in front of people and speak now, you are remembering that.
Exactly. You'll never forget it.
Never forget it. And all of that continues to come back and come back. Every time you've got to walk in a room, every time you've got to give a speech, every time you have to have discussions in front of people.
But you know what? There's no success without failure. You got to fail a few times. You got to fall down so that you could get up and become stronger. And you have to connect with other people. I mean, it's just essential that we share our expertise with each other and learn from each other and grow and bring someone else along that have the same passion that you have. That's what I think this world, this community is all about. And so some of the people that I introduce you to, and there's going to be some more, it's not just for you to benefit, but they will be benefiting as well. And you see how the two of you will connect and you'll bring others along, and this system will just keep growing and growing and growing. And you'll bring so many people out of their insecurities, out of their fears. And, taking a public speaking class would help well, because you will learn that, and even if you don't take a public speaking class, if you're afraid, just for example, to speak in front of somebody, just get in front of the mirror and say it over and over and over. There's nothing like practice makes perfect. That's a good cliche, and it works as well. And it will take you out of some of your insecurities.
They actually, and I was trying to remember the name of them, they have these master's courses, and I forget what the name of it is. I want to say it's master's, but you can look it up. And what I suggest is exactly what Ms. Lambert said, to go and begin to speak publicly in front of people. Take one of these courses, not courses, but it's a group, and I'm so sorry that I don't remember the name of it, but they have them all throughout the country, in every state and every city that you live in. I think it's called Masters something. And it's a group of people that get together and they debate. They give you topics and you come together and you've got to debate and give your point, and then everyone around you critiques you. And then it becomes almost okay for you to go and speak in public, because it's okay if people critique me, because I get critiqued every Tuesday night at my master's club, and they're professional and they're friendly. It takes away some of the stigma and some of the fear. The other thing is to love yourself, to know who you are, and know that the world is not going to accept you. It's just not going to happen. Somebody's going to have something that they don't like about you, but you know what? It's okay.
It is. It's all right.
You are perfectly made for who you need to be. And if you're not, then you're going to fix it.
That's right.
And love yourself.
That is so true. And just, like practicing. And I would say, you could start with your family. You could practice with those guys. You could do it over and over. And just, another thing that's important when you're speaking publicly, I think, if you're talking about something that you are so passionate about, you're going to forget about your insecurities, because your passion, I think, is going to supersede those feelings. And you're going to be like, you're going to start expressing, we're going to see the passion of whatever that subject is. It's just going to, like I said, supersede your insecurities, and you're going to be out there. And if you could record it and go back and look at it, it's amazing, because, passion supersedes insecurities. And I just think it's something that, like if you're going to debate, I think it's a good place to start, to talk about, I don't know, how much you love your parents, a hardship that you overcame and you're trying to help somebody else, I think things like that really, really brings you out, you know?
Yeah, and connect yourself with people like Miss Lambert. You know, if you're an internal person, you don't want to connect with other internal people, and you each justify why you don't need to go outside of your cell phones or your home.
Oh, yeah.
You need to have a connection like Miss Lambert, who is always like, "Come on, girl, let's go. Come on, I want you to meet somebody. Come on, let's go here." You know, you
And did I do that?
and she just loves people, and she must know
do.
everybody in the Northeast Connecticut. So you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Especially, you know, it's kind of like the yin to your yang. You know, like you do these things great and you're great at this, and then you connect with somebody who does these things great and they're great at that, and when you come together, you're like a full circle. You know, that full little bubble that they have, that connection. So it's important for you to connect, and I know in most cases we say with like-minded people, but with people that can bring to the table your areas of shortcomings, they can kind of lift those up, and then you can lift up whatever their areas of shortcomings are, and then together you can complement each other very nicely. So look at who, you know, and it doesn't mean you got to give up your friends. It just means look at that person that's very outgoing, very charming, very respectful, very polite. You know, find you a Miss Lambert and just connect with them. If you're a person that is just kind of internal and really just enjoy my time at home, I don't want to be out that much, but you need to. Because up until I started my own business, I was good because, you know, I worked in my office job. I had to connect with who I had to connect with, and, you know, I never shied away from that, but it was all of the engaging of people I didn't know where I didn't flourish at. And then once I got my own business, that was a no-no. You've got to connect with people you don't know to sell your business. So then that's when I first began looking and saying, okay, this is a problem.
Yep. And you know what? You're not just selling your business, you're helping people. That's the part that makes everything just kind of come together. Yes, you know, we all need money, we all have a job to pay our bills and stuff like that, like doctors save lives because that's their passion. But when you're out there training people, you get some type of self-satisfaction other than getting paid for it. And that's the part that connects us all, because when you help someone, all right, they're going to see and feel the passion that you have for helping them, and you're going to connect. I don't know if it's love, like, you know, respect or whatever, but you're going to create a relationship is what I'm trying to say, I guess, with that person or with those people. Like, I'm an insurance agent. I love all of my clients, my Medicare clients, and I treat, you know, whether you're on Medicaid or you're a millionaire, everybody gets treated the same. And that's important because we all just want to be respected and loved and you know, heard. I think being heard is the most important thing. So don't be afraid to share your insecurities. And there's so many ways that you can do it now. You can, you know, you come on the show and I'll put you right in the middle of us and we could talk about it openly, or you could flip your insurance card over. Okay, and this is what I did because we all need some type of help. And there's I guess you have like a primary care copay, a specialist or whatever. So you can call a psychologist and set up an appointment just like you would for a cardiologist or, you know, a podiatrist or any other type of specialist, and pay that $35 or $50 copay and go and talk to someone about your insecurities. And sometimes it's easier to talk to people you don't know. And of course, you know, your family and your friends, you don't want them to know because we have that stigma about it. I went out of town. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because, you know, your first time, you're nervous, you're scared, you're whatever, but it's just important to make that first move and to start a conversation and to admit it, realize it, you know, face it. And we have 2 minutes left. And, it's just time. It's a good thing that if you just acknowledge what your insecurities are. And yes, I'm so passionate. I love doing the show. I love having Dr. Sunji come on every month and, share information with us and get us, start these conversations about ourselves that are so important. So we have about 1 minute left.
Okay.
And I hope you will come back and it's yours.
Oh, absolutely. So I just want to say, especially to parents or to you yourself, if you find yourself really drawing away from crowds, drawing away from people, social anxiety is a real thing. If you can, get some help, call someone that you can speak to, but also look at yourself. What are you telling yourself when you find yourself getting nervous or sick or upset whenever you're in crowds, you're getting, your hands are getting wet or whatever. Just what are you saying to yourself at that time? What do you think about yourself? Practice loving yourself, saying positive affirmations to yourself, and know that you are amazing and that you can conquer all.
And tune into one of her 2 webinars on
Yes.
Monday from 10 to 11:30, or Wednesday if you're bilingual, or share this with your friends and family members. So listen, thank you so much for this information. Thank you for coming on today. We love you. Can't wait till you come back next month. And I want to thank the audience for joining us. We really do appreciate you. Follow us on YouTube and have a wonderful day. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.